I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and I'm here to bring y'all the latest tea on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Hopefully you had a chance to watch my episode 10 review because I dropped all kinds of gems about Shamea, but she is playing the long game. Angela Oakley said that last night, and it definitely coincided with what I was saying. If y'all had an opportunity to watch, for those who are saying that Shamea is a lapdog to Porsha or that she's spineless, baby, Shamea tried to make Porsha answer for her sins when it comes to their relationship. Last night, she put everything on the table. She broke the fourth wall. She came for Porsha's paycheck. She did a whole bunch of things. I'm going to tell y'all all about it. So just stick around for the review along with everything else, okay? Hit the like button, share the video, and let's get into it. Starting with the Oakleys, child, Angela was able to drag Charles out of the house for an afternoon lunch date at a rooftop restaurant, child. She tried to set the mood for Charles, get him in a good place so that they could film. Now, this is a big deal because y'all, Charles does not do, he's just not the type of man that does things he doesn't want to do. You know what I'm saying? If he's doing this for Angela, it's because he loves Angela, even though he has, you know, he's a crotchety old man. He's like the Black Ebenezer Scrooge, for real, for real. But she gets him on the rooftop. She's trying to test his vibe because those cameras are rolling. And she asked him, how do you like it, right? You know, you're looking at the city. It's beautiful up here. How do you like things? And he said, I don't know. When the food comes out, maybe I'll know, okay? Child. So she laughs it off because, again, he's crotchety. But Angela loves the hell out of Charles, even though I'm sure he gets on her nerves, and I know they go back and forth. Now, in confessional, Angela runs down Charles's resume. She says that her husband is a retired pension-earning NBA player, that he has multiple car wash businesses over there in New York. She also said that he is the coach for the Killer Threes. So basically, he is all work, no play. He doesn't like to have fun very much. So doing stuff like that is a big deal for her and Charles. Basically doing stuff like taking time out of his day to film for the show. So Angela is trying to, again, just warm him up. She's talking to him about things that he likes, that he's interested in, like basketball. Only she messes up big time when she says that a player that Charles is very familiar with plays for a team called Trilogy instead of the Triplets, child. So she was trying to correct him on something that he knows best, which caused him to give her a look like, shut the fuck up, okay? You know what I'm saying? That type of energy. He don't like to be corrected. He doesn't like to be made wrong. Angela knows this, so she starts laughing in an effort to lighten the mood. In confessional, she says that Charles going back and forth with her is his love language, which again makes him give her the evil eye, like, girl, please do not try to camouflage me, my moods, how I feel, what I say. I told you that I was going to come on this show if I could only be myself, but don't try to turn me into something I'm not. I'm telling y'all what's going on because I've seen Charles, people with a Charles personality in real life, okay? So he looks at her like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to make me out to be something I'm not. Anyway, they cut back to the rooftop, and when they're there, Angela, okay, wants Charles to make her day. She turns into Clint Eastwood, child, and said, listen, give me a kiss. And he looks at her and he literally says, what do you want me to kiss you for? Again, he's like, Angela, do not do this. Do not make me do things I would not normally do. If they don't do PDA on command, child, don't make him do that there. And he's pissed at her for even asking for these things because, again, he feels like this isn't who we are normally. Okay, Angela, I'm about to read you for Phil, even though I do love y'all, child. I love both of y'all on the show. Don't leave. Okay, stay on the show. I know who Charles is, though. I know what type of person he is. So she ends up getting this kiss, but child, I'm gonna tell you, it was a peck, barely a peck. Okay, she was lucky to get it. Anyway, now we're back in confessional, where one of the producers tried to ask a question that she should not have asked. She asked Charles if he loved Angela. And Charles gave the producer the same look that he gave Angela a little earlier, okay, when she said, "This is our love language." He looked at her like, "How dare you fucking ask me these questions?" Okay. She was like, well, the producer actually starts stuttering. Okay. Well, you don't have to answer. He said, exactly. Ask another question. Again, don't put him on the line for shit. Don't ask him nothing. Don't make him be something he's not. He's never going to do it. He feels like the fact that he's there at all is proof enough, and he doesn't want to do anything more. So now production cuts back out to the rooftop, child, and Charles got a little bit of food in him, so he's able to crack some jokes. Him and Angela are laughing together. He's a little more friendly, and she basically starts talking to him about her family drama with her mother, her sister, her daughter. She lets him know that, she's a little upset with her sister because she's tried to help her throughout, her life and put her in positions where she could win, give her homes and things like that. And she said that she doesn't believe her sister appreciates it. She wants to have a meeting with her mother to talk about it. And Charles said, if it was me, okay, actually she asked him for advice. He said, if it was me, I would have cut him off because I know people. I know how they are. And it's not going to get better. You're going to have to cut them off until they learn. Angela was not happy about that. She was like, that's not me. That's not what I do. Can you back me up? And he was like, I can get behind you if you want me to, but I'm telling you, I know what this is. And then he said that at the end of the day, his family is the original Tyler Perry. So, they can get a little ratchet. And really, he was comparing himself to the Madea movies, if y'all have ever seen it. And I have to say, he does act a lot like Joe, Medea's brother, in the movies. He does act a lot like that. Okay. If y'all agree, talk to me in the chat and let me know. And let's move on to the next. So Shamea and Cynthia meet up at a bar to discuss the fallout with Porsha. They both said that what happened at that party was really heavy and that neither one of them could sleep that night. Okay. So Shamea, this is why I said that Shamea is playing the long game, because Shamea is a Taurus. Okay. Have y'all dealt with a Taurus? Taurus are really big on respect. They don't like to be disrespected, and they don't like to be disrespected in public. That's a no-no, okay? And they also believe that their word is their bond. Like when they tell you something, they don't feel like they have to back it up with X, Y, and Z. This is who I am. This is how I pay my tax in life. You know what I'm saying? Now, Shamea did something that was very interesting. She brought props. And I question that. I know a Taurus in real life, up close and personal. Okay. Shamea was doing some things that was not like a Taurus. But anyway, Shamea is talking to Cynthia, and she says that after she left the party, she went home and she texted her mother and asked her to pray for her. And then she pulls her phone out to show Cynthia the text. That just seemed above and beyond what was needed in this scene, or for her as a Taurus, like I said. Then she starts crying, and it wasn't just a normal cry. She bit her lip to stop herself from heaving. It was a lot. That's why I'm like, oh, girl, you are really going for the juggler. You're coming in right now to let us know that whatever, because there's a whole lot of shit we don't know about Porsha and Shamea, but Shamea is about to make Porsha atone, like I said, for this friendship. This is what it's giving. Anyway, Shamea says that she felt like she was ambushed by the circle. Angela, Drew, Kelly. She said, why are they all speaking for me, talking about how I feel? And Porsha is literally running with that. I would never do that to her. And then she goes on and does exactly what she's accusing Porsha of doing. She basically calls Porsha a jealous, backstabbing hater. I'm summarizing, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she says to Cynthia. She said, listen, they all have come to me at one time or another and said that Porsha isn't a good friend to me, that Porsha doesn't support me. I've been getting all kinds of messages in my DMs. Child, you are doing exactly what you said Porsha did. So this is real. This is a wild conversation that Shamea is having. Then when Shamea gets in confessional, she brings it on home and she says, listen, when her and Porsha were kids, their mothers used to be best friends, like thick as thieves. Then she said, but they fell out. However, that shouldn't have anything to do with me and Porsha and our friendship, what we have going on. Well, why did you bring it up then, girl? Why would you bring it up if it has nothing to do with your what's going on? And then why did you give production a picture of your mama and Portia's mama in the 80s? Okay. Now production is going to do what they do best. They said, well, what happened? And then she makes this, she does this thing where she goes, oh, I don't want to get in, I don't want to talk about that. I want to get involved with that. And they said, okay. And that's how she leaves it. It was very open-ended. It definitely suggested that there's something going on with the mamas that's trickling down to their friendship. And it does answer why Porsha said, leave my mama out of this shit when she addressed Shamea on Saturday. But Shamea, like I said, girl, she is playing the long game, baby. That's a fact. Let's move on. Next, we have Drew Sedora and her mama child. Drew's 85-year-old mama hopped on a plane to visit her daughter and to check on her grandbabies and to give her some very sobering advice. But Drew didn't take it, okay, because her and Ralph are still in the same place they were last year. But her mother says, listen, you and Ralph have been divorcing for going on damn near 2 years, basically fighting over money in this damn house. She said that Ralph lives in the basement, Drew lives upstairs. They both are paying all kind of money to hotels and Airbnbs on the weekend. Okay. And she said, while you two are doing all this nasty shit to each other, your kids are suffering mentally, emotionally, spiritually. She said that she doesn't agree with how the courts have laid out this system between Ralph and Drew. And when Drew, if y'all have not been paying attention, child, when Drew does not want to answer a question, she just breaks down and starts crying. So she runs out the room crying. And her mama was like, I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. Now, listen, 85 years old, they don't apologize for much, child. They get them words out. You may not want to hear it, but you're going to hear it because what the hell you going to do to me? Okay. I'm 85. Anyway, I got the impression that Drew's mama was like, hell, if you can cry, I can cry too. Because she breaks down and then Drew's chef comes and consoles her until Drew could get herself together. Child, she comes back out. And let me also say this, Drew shares in this scene that Ralph filed a motion to have her lawyer recused, which basically means that her lawyer has done something so foul, so unethical, that he is trying to get her removed from the case. Now, if y'all heard my video about Drew and Ralph and the real reason why they are probably, why they had those records while Drew tried to keep the records sealed, basically. I told y'all that Ralph said that Drew's lawyer was in on some unethical shit to cover up Drew's financial malfeasance, okay? So Drew discusses that a little bit in the scene by saying Ralph is trying to get my lawyer recused. And then she made it seem like it could actually happen because there's only two ways you're going to respond to this, right? If you say, Ralph tried to have my lawyer recused. You're going to say he a damn idiot. Okay. My lawyer ain't going nowhere. Or you could respond the way Drew did, which was, if he does this, I'm going to have to get a new lawyer, and she's one of the best in the state. Well, child, did she do it or not? What is going on? She also said that Ralph was basically trying to clock her entry. I guess she must have snuck out the house or something. And he changed the code on the door. They have one of those push button codes. And she was walking in the wee hours of the morning. She couldn't get back in the house. She had to ring the doorbell, have Ralph come up from the basement to let her inside, child. This is dirty work. Listen, I'm telling y'all, Drew is not as squeaky clean as people want to think. She got a lot going on. But anyway, Drew tried to make out like she didn't know her kids were suffering through anything and she wants to be a very good mama. We shall see. Like I said, if it was going on 2 years when they were filming, they're in their third year of fighting in divorce court over the house and over money. So we shall see. We shall see what happens next. Clearly, they ain't figured it out yet. Anyway, let's move on to the next. So next up is Porsha and Shamea. After the two of them meet with everybody else to talk about their friendship, these two finally have a one-on-one to discuss it with each other, okay? Porsha is actually in this restaurant first, and she's waiting for Shamea to enter. Porsha looks like she has a little bit of nervous energy, and when Shamea gets there, you can tell that the two of them are very awkward with each other. They give each other a hug, but they are awkward as hell. A lot of people are saying that they are faking this, but that looked very real to me. Now, when Shamea sits down, she is giving these nonverbal cues to Porsha. She wants Porsha to recognize she's giving her her full attention. And that is what a Taurus does. Like, I'm here, they're going to wipe everything down. Look, you did in the eye, like, I'm giving you my full attention, okay? They're not going to say things. They're not going to put props up. That's what I'm used to. What Shamea did with Cynthia, I'm not used to. But Porsha, she is fiddling with stuff, fidgeting, moving, spoons and forks around. The phone rings. She immediately answers it while she's mid-sentence talking to Shamea. It happens to be her mother, but that's putting Shamea in a mood because she's like, your mama don't like me. And she probably thinks that this is her, Porsha might have hatched up some sort of escape plan with her mama, like, give me a call and tell me there's an emergency with PJ so I can run up out of here. There's something going on and you can sense it because she's like, Shamea's literally pursing her lips and rolling her eyes like, bitch, you see me. Then Shamea says, like I said, laying it all on the line. She says, I want to apologize to you for making you think that things were okay or that I was okay over the years. I want to apologize for not being as open as I should have been over the years, okay? She didn't say over the last few days or last few weeks. She said over the years, so she's putting everything on the table right now. This makes Porsha roll her eyes like, you are not bringing this shit to the TV show. She's literally doing this. Shamea, she's actually pleading with Shamea while she's talking. She's rocking and saying, Shamea, don't do this. So this conversation isn't about clearing up a misunderstanding. This is laying out a grievance. And Shamea says that she wasn't looking for the group to tell her how to feel or detail what they have going on. So she's pushing it off on Porsha, like, you made the group the judge and jury for our relationship, for our friendship. And Porsha reminds her, Heifer, you was the one who brought that shit to them, not me. You put them in it when you were talking to them. So Porsha's saying it back to her. She's trying to keep it even, but she can't, child. Anyway, Shamea says, well, the difference, Porsha, is that when people, strangers, outsiders come to me, I don't entertain them the way you did. She says, you let them get in your ear and in your head, and you get very dismissive with me. And this is when Porsha's like, bitch, I'm not doing this with you. Porsha stops talking, okay? First she says, what do you want me to do, girl? But she's almost whispering. You can see them, like for a second, they do this long frame where the camera pulls out and you can see just both of them at the table going back and forth. They are loud talking for just a minute, but they're going back and forth. And Porsha says again with a heavy sigh, she just, and that's when Shamea said, what? Are you tired? Am I boring you? Now, just because we don't see Shamea do this often, this is Shamea, baby. We've seen her do it. If you didn't even see her do it with Porsha, you definitely have seen her do it with Kenya. Who else did she get into it with it? Phaedra, I believe she's gotten into it with Drew before. She's not a slouch. She does not let people run over her. She's a bull. She's a Taurus. Taurus will get in your ass, child. So she literally is like, am I boring you? And Porsha knows she cannot push too many buttons because Shamea doesn't have an off switch, baby. Once she's on, she's on. So what does Porsha do? Porsha says, listen, I'm uncomfortable. Shamea doubles down and says, you're uncomfortable with me expressing myself, telling you how I feel? Porsha, again, she's clasping her hands in prayer. She says, Shamea, don't. I can't do this with you, Shamea. And then Porsha decides, well, hold on, child. After she says that, in confessional, Porsha says that she's surprised by Shamea's energy because she's bringing up shit that they've already talked about. This is old stuff. Why is this coming back up here? In Shamea's confessional, she actually says something a little weird. She says, why would Porsha believe anything that the lady said without taking it to her first? Because she believed that her and Porsha were in a good place. But again, she said, I apologize for not being open with you about what I've been feeling throughout the years. That means you weren't in a good place. So Shamea is double talking. Period. That's when Shamea breaks the fourth wall. She accuses Porsha, okay? She breaks the fourth wall and accuses Porsha of being fake on camera when it comes to their friendship. She said, why can't we just be who we are when we're not in front of the camera? And now Porsha's pissed because she's looking at her like, girl, I am just now coming back to this fucking show and here you are doing this. But Shamea didn't. She didn't let up at all. She put her foot on Porsha's neck and she said, you told me, okay, in private, in confidence, that that Bravo's going to have to pay you a whole lot more money in order for you and I to show up the way we show up off camera. Clock that. That's when Porsha gets the hell up, child, because she had to gather herself, okay? Collect herself so that she can finish out this scene. So she gets up. She pretends like she's, well, I don't know if she's crying or not, child. She gets up right away and runs over to the bathroom. Shamea's pissed like, bitch, you ain't, listen, we still gonna have this out, whether it's now or later. But that's when Porsha collects herself. She collects herself and she comes back out. She finds just the right verbiage to throw on Shamea, which is, Shamea, when she comes back to the table, she asks the waitress to pack the food up. Pack this up because we ain't staying. I'm done with Shamea. I'm done with this conversation. But she says, Shamea, I don't want to break up with you. Okay? Shamea's pissed that Porsha's asking to pack up the food because she's like, we done? She says, Shamea, I don't want to break up with you. I don't want to break up with you. Shamea says, I don't want to break up with you either. Porsha said, I don't have the emotional capacity to do this with you right now. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then Shamea apologizes to her and they get up and they hug. Okay? But Shamea is playing the long game. I promise y'all. There's things that she is doing that is not characteristic of a Taurus and their personality. That they're a killer with their feelings, okay? And when they start putting, Shamea is putting is making Porsha, like I said, atone for something. We gonna have to watch the rest of these episodes to see what. And I do believe that the reunion is going to be fire. But right now, Shamea is doing some I'm the HIBC shit. I'm the HIBC, and you're gonna figure out how to bow down, okay? Because she's telling everybody that not only do people come to her and say that Porsha is the one who is a hater, Porsha is the one who is jealous, Porsha is the one who does not take care with their friendship. She's actually saying she believes it now. So it is, or that she believed it then too. One or the other. But y'all talk to me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about all this. Did y'all see what I saw? Okay. Please let me know. Hit the like button, share the video, become a subscriber if you are not already. Follow me on all of my platforms at DYANAROZAY. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, and I will check you on the next one.